Lenovo's Phab 2 Pro is one of a kind. It's distinctively big, it's quite a solid feeling aluminium phone, but sometimes almost 260 grams in your pocket could be a turnoff. But in return, you get the world's first smartphone running Project Tango, which we'll talk about later in the video. To complement the phone's AR capabilities, the front sports a 6.4-inch Quad HD LCD display, and if you can get past the bezels, the display is very good. It is legible outdoors as you'll see throughout the video, and it recreates color well, though it's not as contrasty as an AMOLED panel. Viewing angles are decent, but the mono speaker at the bottom is really where the biggest disappointment is. It takes away from the immersive experience and the sound is easily muffled. And yes, the other grille is fake. User experience starts with the accurate but slow fingerprint sensor. As they say, size may be deceiving, and that is the case here. This beast of a phone packs a rather humble octa-core Snapdragon 652 processor and 4GB of RAM. Moving between UI is definitely sluggish, running on a Lenovo skinned Android 6.0 Marshmallow, but the good news is that the phone manages RAM very well. There are also a few software tweaks available to users, and even though it's a much inferior octa-core processor and GPU, it held up just fine running high graphic games like Asphalt 8. But most importantly, it handles augmented reality reasonably well. I was impressed with the variety of applications available, whether it was reviving your childhood playing Hot Wheels, visualizing and measuring dimensions for various home decor, even though the dimensions were a bit off, having a pet follow you around the house, or moving through a scary mansion. The apps actually required a reasonable amount of movement, and I will be making a more detailed video on augmented reality very soon, so stick around for that. Now, it's sort of become tradition not to take pictures with extremely large phones, but we'll brush up on that as well. The primary 16 megapixel sensor manages to take good pictures in the day with some good dynamic range as well, but as is expected, the sensor struggles at night, producing fuzzy and grainy images with a lack of detail. As far as video is concerned, it's good for the occasional clip or two, but I wouldn't recommend anything more, especially with no optical image stabilization, so you won't get that smooth looking footage. Over on the front, the story is identical. Great pictures during the day, but a sharp drop in quality at night. The front lens is wide enough to take a group selfie, but if you want something more, you do have a panorama style mode that lets you take an even wider selfie. But with so many different features, how about battery? The 4050 mAh battery holds up extremely well during light usage and when on standby. But it does take a toll when you're using intensive Tango applications. Typically, you'll get around 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time, but it really depends on how much of an enthusiast you are for AR applications. In spite of this, with quick charging technology, you could see the battery boost up to 25 or even 30% when plugged in for about half an hour. So what do I think? This phone is really unique and appeals to a very niche market. This is the first time we've seen a Tango device, so flaws are definitely expected. But I feel like combining the AR experience with a more reasonable form factor with better processing power will make it mainstream. That's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think about the phone, about the AR experience in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.